Hello everyone, today we are going to create this. So, let's get started. First delete the cube. Add UV sphere. Press 1 to go to front orthographics view, move the sphere up. Add single bone. Go to Object Data tabs, in Display section enable in front option. Zoom in the viewport. Resize the bone to 0.2 and move along z-axis -0.2. Align the sphere to center by holding Shift and click drag middle mouse. Go to Edit mode. Press E and Z for extrude along Z-axis and enter 2. Again press E and Z, now for 0.2. Now we have 3 connected bone. Go to Bone tabs and rename each bone. Tail. Body. Head. We will unparent this head bone. Press Alt P. Choose Clear Parent. Now if we select head bone, it already a separated bone. Right-click to cancel the movement. Go to Pose mode. Select Body Bone. Go to Bone Constraints tabs. Add Stretch to Constraints. Select Armature. Select Head Bone. Now if we move head bone, it will stretch and squash body bone. Back to object mode. Select the sphere. Shift select the bone. Ctrl P, choose with automatic weights. This will parent the sphere to the bone. To test it, go to pose mode. Move again the head bone. Now the sphere will stretch and squash as the head bone move. Right-click to cancel. Our sphere now are ready to be animated. Make sure you have used left-click selection method. Press N to display right panel. Expand Timeline Editor panel. Shift middle click and drag to align the sphere. Go to Object mode. Press G and Z to move the object up, enter 20. Again align the viewport. Right-click Z location and choose Insert Single Keyframe. Go to frame 15. Press G and Z to move, enter -20. Again right-click Z location and choose Insert Single Keyframe. Go to frame 30. Press G and Z to move, enter 15. Right-click Z location and choose Insert Single Keyframe. Go to frame 45. Press G and Z to move, enter -15. Right-click Z location and choose Insert Single Keyframe. And if we move the animation in timeline, this is Z location for all keyframe I have do, till frame 125. The method is the same as doing the first keyframe. I will forward and skip this part to save times. Now we have got all keyframe. If we test the animation now, the sphere are not likely bouncing, but it look like just move up and down. So we will do some tweak in Graph Editor. Click and drag the corner point to add new editor windows. Change to Graph Editor. Alt-A to deselect all. Press and hold Ctrl and middle mouse to align the editor windows. Hold Shift and middle mouse to move it up. Press B and left click to select all bottom keyframe. Press V and choose Vector. Run to test the animation. Now we got the bouncing animation. Now we will do the squash and stretch. First we will do the squash. Align the graph editor. Go to pose mode. Make sure the head bone are selected and in frame 1. Hover the location panel and insert keyframes. Go to frame 30. Hover the location panel and insert keyframes. And do the same for frame 55, 75, 90, 100, 110 and 125. This will keep the sphere in normal shape. To squash the sphere we need to move the head bone in Z-axis. Press G and Z and -0.5. Hover the location panel and insert keyframes. Do all for frame 15, 45, 65, 85 and 95 with stepped decreasing Z location amount. If you have done all, your graph should be like this. Now we will going to do stretch. Go to frame 14. Before we move the bone, press Alt-G to go back to normal pose. Then press G and Z and 0.5. Do the same for frame 16. We will need to do this 2 times for each squash frame. one before the squash frame and one after the squash frame. Do all for every squash frame with step decreasing Z location amount. If you have done all, your graph should be like this. Now play the animation. Alright, now we will animate the X-axis. Go to Object Mode. Make sure the sphere and the bone are selected and at frame 1. Press G and X and -20. Hover at the X location. Right-click and choose Insert Single Keyframe. Go to frame 130. Press G and X and 40. Hover at the X location. Right-click and choose Insert Single Keyframe. Now go to Graph Editor. The red line is the X-axis curves we just created. Again align the Graph Editor. Now if we play the animation, the sphere will bouncing and move along X-axis. Change the end animation frame to 140. Play the animation. Now we gonna tweak this red curves, so it looks more realistic. Make sure both keyframes are selected. Press V and choose Vector. Left-click the handle and make an adjustment. This makes the animation fast at the beginning and will slowing down at the end. If you are not satisfied with the result, you can always tweak it. And our animation is complete. Let us know if you have any question. I will see you in next tutorial. Thanks for watching this tutorial. Have a good day.